Let's roll.
Hello, welcome to another episode of HCC MovieMakers Academy Movie Reviews. My name is Trey, Dixon.
My name is Vincent, Briseno.
And we just saw Turbo Kid. Turbo Kid is a ultra-violent, retro-nostalgic send-up of 80s action-adventure films that's set in the post-apocalyptic year of 1997. And it centers on an orphan teenager who's trying to save his best friend from the clutches of an evil warlord. So, Vincent, what did you think of Turbo Kid?
I really like this movie.
I would concur. It is a very fun film.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's really about the characters. They build a very fun set of characters that you can really enjoy when you're watching this movie.
Yeah, and right now there's something of a trend going on in cinema where the filmmakers are banking on nostalgia.
Yeah.
The fact that people lived in a certain time period and appreciated certain movies that came out in that time. A thing that I really didn't like about Terminator Genisys is that it kind of banked on the fact that you like the 80s and you like those movies from the 80s.
Yeah.
But with this film, it has an adorable central relationship.
Yes.
And I think this separates itself from other movies that are like that.
Yeah, it's definitely not it wasn't a priority to capture. I mean, the style of it was definitely big on being that kind of classic retro kind of feel. But really what it centers around is these characters, and I think that's what helps elevate this movie above those other ones where it's not about the nostalgia, like just make this movie for nostalgia's sake. And
they do really simple things with the characters, really simple things that a lot of modern movies don't even bother to do, but you just have a little bit of a backstory with the main teenager, and they took the time to create some adorable characters. I really like Apple in this movie. Apple is a character that you fall in love with basically from the start.
Well, actually, a thing I've always, whenever there's characters who are very spunky and very energetic, I've typically, for some reason, I've never liked characters like that.
Yeah, they tend to turn me off. But with this film, she's like she's intentionally over the top.
Yes.
And so it's like endearing.
It's believable. She does it in such a way where you're like, this character is like really like
we won't give away the twist with Apple's character, but there's more to her than meets the eye. So when you know what that thing is, it makes a little bit more sense. But yeah, she's an adorable character.
Yeah,
I could watch it again just for her.
Yeah, I definitely found myself watching this one, especially when watching it over, like just appreciating the scenes, just having that kind of like, that's such a, like the way they build their characters in this movie is, I appreciate it a lot.
So there's something about this movie that I feel like a few people might be turned off by, and it's because it's very ultra violent. Mm-hmm. But I feel like it's utilizing violence as a means to be entertaining rather than shocking. Mm-hmm. Back when Peter Jackson first started making movies, he made ultra-violent zombie movies like Dead Alive. And the gore in this movie reeks of fun. Like it's very humorous. Yeah, it's very humorous.
Like slapstick kind of violence.
It's very, very over the top, and it's very bloody and gory, but it's like you find yourself like laughing because of it.
And the thing that I like about the violence is that it's well paced. It's not violent it's not just constant just blood and guts. It's very precise moments where it's very comical.
There's a legitimate build up to it, so it doesn't feel wasted or forced in any way. And it's shot on a very low budget, and at times it does show.
Yes, yeah.
Particularly in the final sequence. Uh-huh. The final sequence felt rushed, and I feel like that has a lot to do with the fact that these filmmakers weren't really working with very much.
Yeah.
But they were certainly doing the very, very best they could with what little they had.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I also, I kind of liked the low budget aspect of it. They made it work for me. Like I felt like with the practical effects and everything they did, it shot up above so many other low budget movies.
Yeah, it's fun when you have a big budget to work with. You can do all these like fun little things, but this has like the charm of a first-time filmmaker, where it's just a bunch of really passionate people working together to make this fun movie.
Yeah,
it has that
feel to it.
Yeah. So it's not a perfect movie, but I feel like they did a very good job with what little they had. The acting was sketchy. I liked the addition of Michael Ironside's character.
Yes,
It's good to finally see him after all these years. But it's not going to win an Oscar certainly. But
the whole premise behind his character, his like plot, is ridiculous. It's just so.
It comes out of nowhere. There's like another twist with the main villain, similar with Apple's character, that kind of comes out of nowhere, and it feels kind of I don't know, forced is the right word, but.
I enjoyed it because it brought back some instances of the beginning of the movie. It was kind of foreshadowing a little bit of it.
Yeah, there's with the beginning of the movie, there's a lot there that you see that it doesn't actually make sense until you view it at the very end of the movie, and then it all kind of ties together. So it's a neat, tight little plot. Some of the story elements are kind of weird and forced.
Yeah.
But it feels like the kind of thing you would see in an 80s action film, with which this movie is basically a giant love letter to
that's one thing I also appreciate. The writing, like the dialogue in it, it was very cheesy
very
sometimes.
Cheesy,
and it was just kind of brought you back to like when action movies had just like the cheesiest and
it's like Roadhouse dialogue. Kind of. But it's a lot of fun. You're always giggling, but the movie isn't banking on the fact that you appreciate movies that came out of that time period, because there is a mild emotional core. And that's all you really need when you're telling a story. You can have whatever kind of effects you want. You can have whatever kind of ludicrous budget brought about craziness. But if you have like a mild emotional core, then you can power through it, and it can actually be a fun, entertaining experience.
Definitely. It was all, I mean, some parts of it seemed very modern with the stylization of it, like a lot of the action sequences of it, or I felt like a lot of that, it wasn't too. It was over the top in the wacky way, but it was still pulled back a little bit to keep it kind of the pacing going with it.
It doesn't tire you out. It doesn't
push it. That's what I'm trying to say.
It doesn't push it in terms of the style.
Yeah.
It kind of knows that the audience can only take so much, and but at the same time, you're right. It has a lot of fun with what it's trying to do. I really did enjoy this movie, and what would you give it on a scale of 1 to 10?
I really, really enjoyed this movie. It's one of my favorite movies I've seen this year.
Oh, really?
For being as short as it was and the budget it was, I love this movie. I'd probably give it a 9.
A 9? I liked it a lot, and I would recommend it to people. Yeah. It's not going to be like on my list at the end of the year, but it's very entertaining. I'm going to give it like a 7.5. It's it has some technical issues. It's certainly not perfect by every stretch of the imagination. It's the kind of movie where it's got a neat kitsch value like the first time you watch it, but I can't see myself constantly watching it over and over again. Maybe other people.
That's kind of true. Yeah, I think it feels like it depends on the kind of also your take on if you like that kind of nostalgia kind of style with the retro and.
You know what this
80s.
is? This is a great movie to watch with a giant crowd of people.
Definitely, I can see that happening. Like it's real fun. It's real fun. You'll laugh, and your friends will laugh if you watch it with them.
So if you're going to watch Turbo Kid, we recommend that you watch it with a giant group of people. Give it a look. It's worth your time. Thank you for watching HCC MovieMakers Academy movie reviews. We're brought to you by the Houston Community College Filmmaking Program and HCC TV. Visit us online at www.hccs.edu and enroll yourself in the art of filmmaking. Check out our YouTube channel and subscribe if you would like to see more reviews just like this one. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.